Special day today. Today, we're going to be talking to Darren Griffith, who's part of the Goldie agency Dynasty. He works in the content team for us. He heads it up. He's been doing SEO content for 10 years, running his own niche sites, built up a team of 50 writers, and also part of the hair transplant gang. Welcome, Darren.
Hey, Julian, how you doing?
Yeah, doing great, thanks. I'm excited to talk to you today because we're going to be talking about human content things, right? Which is something that I would say 99% of YouTubers out there right now in the SEO space are not talking about. So it'll be an interesting one, especially after the Google Core update. And obviously, you've been doing content for nearly 10 years. I know you specialized in the travel space at one point, right? We'll just get straight to it and cut all the fluff. What's your step-by-step process for actually writing human content?
As in me, myself, or are we talking using a team?
Yeah. So, for example, let's say someone watching this is, I've got a keyword, I know what to write about, I know what the topic is, but I don't know what the next step is. What would you recommend at that point?
Okay. A lot of people can do all the keyword research and the SEO, but they just don't have the writing skills to do the writing themselves. My suggestion and how I got into this game is always to outsource it to human writers who know the subject well and can take on the subject in the best way possible.
And for example, let's say someone's trying to hire a writer, like where would you typically find them? Where's the best place to hire?
I go to a mixture of places. Facebook groups are great. I'm quite an active member in various blogging groups and writing groups, agency groups, SEO groups. We often find people on there either looking for work, or I can sometimes go on there, do a bit of research myself, find some decent writers who are bloggers. I go on their blog and I look at their content and see how good it is, and then I can reach out to them. And often bloggers are often writers themselves as well. I do use Upwork sometimes. Some people have no luck finding writers on Upwork, but I seem to have got like this, we call it a secret sauce, but I've been using it for 8 years or something. And I know how to filter out all the rubbish, which there is a lot of on Upwork. And I have a trialing testing process. And managed to find some, over the years, some really good writers. It hasn't got the best reputation, I would say, Upwork finding writers. But if you know how to use the platform, really good writers in it.
We'll come on to more of the hiring process later. But if someone's watching this and let's say a lot of people are on a budget, they don't have the budget to invest into content and they want to write something by basically bootstrapping it and doing it themselves, would you recommend, like, for example, using something like, we give away an SEO checklist on the YouTube channel for manually quality checking all the content and that sort of thing? First of all, how would you plan out the content? Do you use tools like NeuroWriter or that sort of thing?
Me personally, I don't use any writing platforms. I have played with things like Surfer because those kind of platforms are really good for the SEO purposes, especially for keywording and stuff. But if I was going to go back and do it myself again now, I would definitely jump in and use something like Surfer or NeuroWriter or something like that. Back in when I started, none of those platforms were around. So I jumped onto YouTube and just learn SEO as much as I could and just wrote everything that I could, all the knowledge I picked up from YouTube. Took a couple of courses as well. Facebook groups are really good for that, to learning all the basics and more advanced stuff. But if you're going to do it yourself, you have to learn everything yourself, right? You can't really cut any corners. There are platforms to help you out, like those writing platforms. But if you're not going to use AI, which obviously some people don't, but if you're going to do it all yourself, writing yourself, then you need to learn how to do all that stuff yourself.
What's your take on using AI versus human content?
So I'm not against AI content at all. For my own niche site, I've used it to help me out. I don't think it's at a stage yet where you can, like 1, 2, 3 clicks and then get the content that you want. I'm not going to sit here and say all human writers are like better than ChatGPT, for example. But if you find yourself a good writer who knows the subject well, then in my opinion, you're always going to get better results than you will on any of these AI platforms. From my experience, it writes well. It writes grammatically, spelling. It can write in many different tones of voice. And I use it to often shift around my own writing. But I normally have to tell it what to write. I normally have to give it a few paragraphs of content and then tell it to reword it in a certain style that I like. Or if I'm asking it to write a description about something, like a description of a market or a restaurant or something, I normally have to give it all the information that it needs to write that description. Because if I just let it be and let it write the description on its own, what it returns back to me If I know that restaurant very well, know that market very well, it's very bland description and missing tons of details.
Yeah. One thing I've seen, especially after the Google Core update, is like, for example, we've always sold human content at the agency. Literally sales have doubled since the Google Core update on human content. I think just a lot of people are scared to use it. For example, if you look at WP Eagles' recent video, and he has about 70,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah.
He only came out live and said, I'm too scared to use AI content now.
Yeah.
I just feel like the fear factor behind AI content is crazy now, right?
It is, yeah. But it's narrative is shifting back to human content, and I knew that I would eventually. There's only so long that if the majority of people are jumping on these AI platforms and publishing content using those, there's only so long that can go on for until we're all just literally just copying AI content, which is all going to become out of date. And there has to be a big chunk of people that are still putting in that research, those personal experiences, and adding that for those AI platforms to use in the future. But yeah, the fear is back, I think. That's why getting a human writer that knows what they're talking about is a safer play, in my opinion, at the moment. In 1-2 years' time, who knows? But at the moment, I'm sticking with human writers, only using AI just to help out.
Yeah. For example, like content outlines, I think AI is great for, because AI literally isn't touching the content, but it's researching it, and it just saves you a lot of time.
Yeah.
In some ways, it's going to be better at understanding the language and the context required in the article. For example, like the headings, the entities, the MSIs, etc.
I agree. Yeah. Yeah. And I've used it for those sort of things. I've used it for short form content. I've used it for reaching out to people, like cold emails, used it for social media posts and things like that. That sort of stuff is great. Still needs an element of human touch, but there's plenty of good uses for AI.
In terms of managing writers, how do you make sure the quality stays high and the standards stay high?
So far, I manage that by only me doing the managing. So I haven't got to a stage yet where I kind of trust anyone else to manage the writers. So when a client comes to me with a brief, I will know almost immediately after reading the brief, okay, this writer or this team of writers are going to be best for that job. The writer has to do their part, but also it's my job to assign it to the right person. We have editors, obviously, that do quality checking, and it's just getting feedback from clients as and when is needed, and making sure that feedback is listened to and adhered to and taken on board for future projects. It's just really like me knowing that writing team and knowing my clients, knowing the clients, knowing the team.
When it comes to actually writing the article, like I know you build out the SOPs for your writers, for example.
Yeah.
Like what sort of process do you have in place for them to follow? Like from literally writing the first sentence to finishing it off, what process is there for the writer? We can come on to the editing as well. So.
It really varies. I've had people that come to me with no brief whatsoever. They will send me a title and a keyword. And plenty of writers are able to literally just run with that. They'll see the title, they'll see the keyword. Okay, they can get a sense of what they want. And then I've marked 1,000 words, 1,500 words. Then they go with it. And then 99% of the time, it's great. Then we go right up to another level where people will send us a whole long list of keywords. Will send us templates of the article already with all the headers and stuff and what to put them, resources to use for research. This is obviously another very important thing for writers to do if they're doing it themselves. Is making sure whatever they're using for research are websites, and so we're not doing false information in the content. But briefs, they vary so much. The bigger the brief, the better, obviously, on our side of things, but our writers are used to working just titles and keywords on some occasion.
Yeah, that's what most of the clients are going to do, right? They're just going to be like, here's a keyword, you figure it out.
Yeah, they're busy. And that's why they use us, right? Because they're like a one-stop shop for them for things like this. Yeah.
When it comes to editing, what's your process like? Do you have a step-by-step process that your editors follow?
Not particularly, no. The editors with editing experience several years behind them. So I test them out, obviously, first before using them, just to make sure their editing isn't brilliant. But they already have their own processes before coming to me. So I rely on them to use those that's worked with them in the past to work for us. So I don't have an editing like SOP or anything like that at the moment. In a later date, maybe I will, but at the moment, I'm just hiring good enough editors to be able to trust and do what they need to do.
I think that's the best, man. You delegate the responsibility, the task, right? Because if you give them the task and something creative like this, if I, for example, told someone exactly how to do a YouTube video, they're not going to be able to insert their own style into that video and that content. Additionally, they're probably just going to hate it because they'll be like, I want to do it my way. Like, I have way better process than Julian got.
Exactly. Yeah. Of course, we have a checklist that, that we want them to monitor as they're editing, but I let them get on with what they do best.
When it comes to inserting expertise, authority, trust, experience inside the content as well. For example, I know you've worked a lot in the travel space over the years, Darren.
Yeah.
How do you insert expertise, authority, experience, trust inside your content when you're writing and creating them?
Okay. So yeah, I have a team that's specialized in travel, but they're always travel.
They're locked up in that castle behind you, aren't they?
Sure. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, they're traveling around all the time. So it's easy for me to get deep or in the travel space, because if someone comes to me and wants an itinerary for the first time popping around on the Greek islands, I will have someone that would have done that. So I will send them that brief. And with that personal experience, they can give that article that it needs. I can't get any better than that, hiring a human writer that's experienced popping around on the Greek islands with that type of article. Likely put a lot of stuff that we do that's not in the travel space. Again, I will just do my best to assign it to someone with the relevant experience. If they don't have the experience and it's going to be research based, then it's ticking all those speed guidelines that we need to tick, right? It's just writing in a first person voice, just making the article sound like you've experienced that particular product or whatever it might be,
And then when it comes to finding expert writings, right? Let's say, for example, I had a website about plumbing and I'm bored out of my mind of writing about plumbing. What would you recommend? Aside from hiring us, obviously, would you recommend, for example, going into a Facebook group or hiring off a job board, Upwork? Where's the best place to go and how do you do it?
Yeah, a platform like Upwork or similar. And I would put up an advert looking for whatever expertise I need. In this case, plumbing. Some of these job boards, you can get some surprising amount of people come back to you with you, and some of them are going to be awful, but some of them are going to be good. And you only have to pay these people. They're going to return good quality content to you. And that would be my first. Be going to an online platform, a writing platform. It's going to be the quickest way. You'll get answers because it's a global thing. Or you're going to get people sending you messages within the first few minutes of putting it up there. That would be my go-to. Something like, going to social media, something like that. Probably not if it's that specific, unless you happen to be member of a plumbing group on Facebook, which is highly unlikely. But yeah, that would be my first thought.
You stop writers using AI in the process? Because I know how Upwork goes, for example. You get a writer from there, you get a decent price, for example. You don't really know this man from Jack Johnson. And then you hire them and they might start copying and pasting from ChatGPT or spinning it through a humanizer first. Like, how do you avoid that sort of situation?
Just keeping an eye on it at all times, especially obviously in the testing, trialing process. That's obviously one of the main things that we're looking for at the moment. But when they've been through that trialing, testing process and they're on the team, we don't take anything for granted. We don't necessarily trust your writer unless they've been with us for like several months or even years. It takes sometimes that trust with a writer. But me personally and my editing team, quite often we can see just from with the naked eye, just reading the article, okay, this seems a bit suspicious, the way it's written, words that are used and stuff like that. And we do use check-ins as well from time to time. Originality.io is probably our favorite one, probably the most reliable out of all of them.
I think one of the other best ways to figure out if writers are just running it through ChatGPT, for example, if you get them to write the content in Google Docs, then you can see, okay, have they just copied and pasted the content in there or are they writing it sentence by sentence? Because you can see the revisions over time, right?
That's true. Yeah, you're right. That's another warning sign, sure.
Yeah, that's it. Unless they start copying and pasting each sentence in line by line. I'd never realized this before, right? But one of the ways that Google could easily figure out, and I saw a video about this, whether your content is AI or not, is basically, if you look, for example, at ChatGPT, it's just trained to guess what's the most likely word to come next in that sentence, right? And so if you've got content that's basically written around the most common words related to each other, which is the way that ChatGPT typically writes it, that's very easy for any AI detector to figure it out. That's probably going to change over time as the AI improves. I mean, for example, like ChatGPT 2 content or OpenAI DaVinci is nowhere near as good as 4. But that's one of the ways I've had it explained to me, which is quite interesting. Basically, just it's an egg word.
Yeah. When is the next chat GPT? It's coming, it's going to be released soon, like 5.
There's been rumors of it like 4.5 coming out this year or ChatGPT 5 coming out. I don't know. It terrifies me. What's ChatGPT 44 going to be like? That's absolutely terrifying.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be an interesting year, especially like we spoke about previously about the narrative switching back to human writers. Obviously, as a human writer manager, I'm hoping the case, but yeah, the update, the trouble we've got is that the update has done so much damage to people's traffic and their income. All those people that would like to go back to human writers now don't have the income, that the budget to outsource to human writers again. That's the, so yeah, we're going to wait for some of these clients that have been hit with Google, not our clients, but general people who are general publishers, get their income back up, get the traffic up to then have the budget again to outsource to human writers.
Yeah. One of the scariest things about the whole updates is like the amount of collateral damage, right? So there's so many tweets, for example, of people who have been to like Machu Picchu, actually gone all the way to Peru, taken the pictures, got all the experience, and then they'll drop down to like second page after the update and show them my site with zero experience can rank page number 1, just with better optimization, for example, better backlinks.
Yeah.
It's a pretty crazy time for sure.
Yeah. I suppose it's early stages in this new helpful content update algorithm. And I guess it needs to be smarter at how to detect stuff like that. It's just been crazy, especially in the travel space. It's just been a slaughter of website publishers have lost traffic. And yeah, it's crazy times, man.
2 of the people that taught me SEO link building, two of my mates out in Chiang Mai, they did everything like the right way. Like one of them even hired an expert who's very passionate about the industry. I won't mention what niche it is.
Yeah.
All the products, which cost like thousands of dollars. And he was doing this really early, ever since like the first helpful content update came out.
Right.
Been doing that for years, and his traffic is just going.
Yeah.
It's like making like 40 or 50K a month. Now I don't think it's even making 10 for that.
Yeah. I'm hearing that a lot. Everyone's saying it's so random. There's not any answers to how you're going to get your traffic. But the only correlation that all the groups I've been monitoring over the past few months, the ones that have been hit least are the ones that are not relying on Google traffic so much, so they're diversifying their traffic, have done for years. So maybe Google is like 40%, and then their mailing list is 40%, and then social media is 20% or something like that. Those guys seem to have been either they've not been hit at all by these updates, or they've just been hit a little bit. That's the only correlation that I've picked up on for the past few months. So if you've been relying heavily on Google, putting in too much SEO, you're now being penalized for it, regardless of how good your content is.
I think one of the biggest differences that I see across all these sites, especially the ones I got here, is like affiliates and websites relying purely on ads are the ones getting hit the hardest. And I think that's because they're not like real businesses. For example, if you look at a site that's done unbelievably well since the last update, like dogster.com, e-commerce site, real brand, is going to get a lot of branded search. So people are like actively seeking out that brand.
Yeah.
And additionally, it's diversifying its traffic. I don't think it's just relying on Google for SEO.
Yeah.
But these sort of businesses are just seem to be doing better and better, particularly when there's a face to the website. Whereas if I look at that website that I just mentioned, the one that's had an expert, written the content over time, had reviews of actual products and actual pictures, etc. One differentiator is there's no author on that website, and they're just making money through ads and affiliate.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's only going to continue. Like big brands are going to take off.
Yeah.
And niche sites purely relying on SEO, not doing YouTube or Facebook groups or Twitter anything, just continues to get battered.
Yeah, and I think that they've gone full circle with their helpful content, like blogging anyway, with the update guidelines that they put out a few months ago. It's like they almost want blogging to go back to how it started, which is, you own the blog, you're doing the writing, you're taking the photos. I guess it couldn't have gone on for too much longer, especially with the whole release of the content generation. They know too many people are taking advantage of it and blogging just to make money about something they probably haven't thought about, and something had to be done about it. We all get it, but it's just a shame that so many good sites have got up in it.
Yeah, that's it. I think there's definitely opportunities, but you got to do everything the right way, right? For example, the video I did a couple of days ago on the Unity talks you through exactly how to demonstrate that expertise, experience, and trust direct website with your person. Or for example, If you look inside my free SEO course, links in the comments, shows 8 ways to get traffic that are actively working for me outside of just relying on SEO. And I think this is the future. Like, that's actual marketing. It's not just SEO.
Yeah.
People, sometimes we get stuck inside that tiny little SEO bubble, right?
Yeah. 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 It's going to be, diversification is key now. Get your traffic from many places, as many as you can.
Yeah, that's it. Definitely. Yeah. We'll do more videos on that. If people want to see them, just comment below and let us know. So yeah, thanks so much for being on, Darren. If you want to see more videos like this, feel free to comment below and ask us exactly what sort of content you want to see about human written content. We're going to do that case study as well, rank and clap SEO with Darren's team of writers. So that's going to be interesting too. And if you want to book in a free SEO strategy session about getting more human content on your website, ranking it with SEO along with link building, feel free to book in an SEO strategy session. Links in the comments description. Thanks, Darren. Anything you want to see before you go?
No, mate. No, just, have a good Friday. Have a good weekend.
We didn't even get a chance to talk about hair transplants, but we'll do that next time.
Yeah, man. We're part of the crew.
Yeah, that's it. All right. Cheers, mate.
Okay. Cheers.
See ya.
Bye.